Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. I am John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and I'm going to try really hard to do a spoiler-free review for you of Halloween Ends. I'm a blind film critic, and I watched this on Peacock with audio description. However, it did kick me out after, like, right at the beginning of the credits. So I have no idea who narrated this. I didn't get to find out. It's a shame because actually this does have really good narration. Really above board, solid horror narration. It lets you know, the gory details about the kills, the deaths. And when I say spoiler-free, we're working under the assumption that A, this is a Halloween franchise, so you know that people exist in this franchise like Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. That should not be a spoiler to you. This is the 13th film in the franchise. Those are not spoilers at this point. It's also the third film in the new Halloween trilogy directed by David Gordon Green, which also has been featuring those characters. You know that through that, because it's the third film in David Gordon Green's, that there's also a granddaughter. And Will Patton has been around for this franchise. Those are pre-existing characters. So none of this stuff should be spoilers to you. Because it's a Halloween film, that means people will die. They're not going to make a bloodless Halloween film. Although that would be super radical. That would be completely different if they made a Halloween film in which nobody died. But you're working off of those. We're working off of those assumptions. But there is a thing in here that's making everybody very angry, and I'm going to try to not talk about it. And try to talk around it. This should be fun, and I'm going to try to do it in a short period of time because I have a tendency of doing like 20-minute videos. So Halloween Ends is not very good. It just isn't. There's sort of a misleading opening sequence that you're like, I don't understand what this is. And then immediately it launches into, for some reason, a giant, exposition dump from Laurie Strode, from Jamie Lee Curtis. She spends like 5 minutes explaining the Halloween franchise to you. I was like, I'm sorry, are we expecting a whole bunch of people to just start watching the Halloween franchise all of a sudden as it's ending? It's been around this franchise is older than I am. So if you have not watched a single Halloween franchise and you're somehow interested in Halloween Ends, I want to know who you are and why that is. Because this would be such a weird film to start your franchise on. I've seen some people say that, this film would have worked as like a standalone, or if it was like the first in a series. I was like, no, it actually wouldn't have, because this film literally explains so much. It's tied so much into what's happened before. It can't possibly be a standalone franchise on its, it can't work as the way that you say it does, because of the whole point of this film is things coming to an end, not a beginning. It's not, I guess there are parts of this I can see why you're trying to say that, but this is supposed to be about the end. It even does this cool thing at the very, very end where it shows you the film's title, Halloween Ends, and then it like takes the word Halloween away, and it just stays on ends for like an extra second, and it just holds it there. So, it really wants to let you know that at bare minimum, David Gordon Green will not be making any more Halloween films, which, based on the last two, is a good thing. I wouldn't give him. I used to think he was a solid director. I no longer think that. Halloween Kills and now Halloween Ends have made me really question his ability to direct films. This is, I mean, stylistically, people are like, "Oh, it's got some good shots in it." I love the people that try to make like excuses for the film. They're like, "Oh, it looks good. It's got some great shots in it." It's like, yes, so did the first one, which actually had a plot that made sense and actually went somewhere. He's just directing it the same way he directed the last three films. You can't just keep saying his films look pretty, like, "Oh, his films, he's got a good eye." I'm sure he does. He had it the first film. Like, how many times are you going to keep giving him a pass because he knows where to put the camera in a room? This film is full of attempted jump scares, like really weak attempted jump scares where the scene cuts really abruptly to somebody like shutting a drawer, like you're in a scene and then you just hear like, and it's just like somebody closing a drawer, or a door to a house, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a random loud noise. And it tries so hard because the film itself is not actually scary. I was never like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh no." I was like, "Oh, please let this film end. Why is this film taking so long?" Yeah. So, I know somebody put online that Jamie Lee Curtis said people will hate Halloween Ends. I guess she knew that and did the film anyway. I don't know why she wants this to be her legacy. It's a very, very bizarre choice. Obviously, I'd love to be able to go into more, and I'm also going to do a spoiler review. So this is just a generic one, but I don't know how else to convince you to not see this film without directly spoiling things. So there aren't many excuses I can give this film. I can't really stand up for it in too many ways of saying, "Oh, I liked this," or "it did this interestingly," or "this was fun," "this was interesting," or "they made good choices here." The only thing that I liked that could have worked into a film is they added this flirtatious relationship between Jamie Lee Curtis and Will Patton, which I thought was nice, because for her character, for her to go from being like a recluse to actually possibly maybe having a boyfriend at some point down the line, good for her. I mean, that really showed that she has sort of evolved even within the context of these three films. But there's very little I liked about this film. It's easily one of the worst films I've seen this year. It's so disappointing. It's just so disappointing. And in a spoiler review, I can literally articulate why. But I wanted to do one that was spoiler free, and I've done that. So y'all can't blame me because I didn't spoil shit in this review. So I'm gonna give Halloween Ends a D-. It's a worse grade than I gave Halloween Kills, which I wasn't a fan of. So we're stepping our way down. And by the way, there's actually a review of Halloween Kills on my channel. So if you want to go back and watch that, you can go back and watch that. That's it for me today. And I'm trying to get to 100. So if you liked this review at all, if you like me trying to dodge spoilers for you, that'd be great. You can go ahead and click that subscribe button so I can get to 100 by the end of the year. You can visit my website, macthemovieguy.com, for more reviews. You can follow me on Twitter at macthemovieguy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description, where you can watch it. And the adna.org will let you know who's narrating what. That's it for me today. I got to go review this film again. And I will see you on the other side.